Welcome to the Factory Deactivation Process Training. I am a member of the Fruit of the Loom CSR team. Today I will walk you through the steps to deactivate a factory. By the end of this training module, you will have a better understanding of what the factory deactivation process is and why it's important. You will be able to answer the following questions. Why do I need to deactivate my factories? When should I notify Fruit of the Loom that I want to exit a factory? What happens during the deactivation process? What if I want to use the factory again in the future? So let's get started. Factories need to go through the deactivation process to reduce brand exposure, which minimizes risk. In order to protect Fruit of the Loom's intellectual property, it's important that all materials for actual or planned production be destroyed or removed from a facility that is no longer manufacturing for Fruit of the Loom or any of its affiliates. As part of Fruit of the Loom's transparency initiative, a real-time list of factories by country can be accessed on Fruit of the Loom's consumer-facing website. This includes any internally sourced factories, as well as those used by our licensees. Since this tool provides visibility to the public, it needs to reflect a genuine account of factories producing any Fruit of the Loom brands. An inaccurate representation of Fruit of the Loom's manufacturing presence could be viewed as misleading to the public. In addition to factory visibility on Fruit of the Loom's website, as a member of the Fair Labor Association, Fruit of the Loom is required to report active factories to the FLA. It is important to note that this only applies to factories that produce for the U.S. market. The Fair Labor Association is a collaborative effort of universities, civil society organizations, and socially responsible companies dedicated to protecting workers' rights around the world. For more information on the FLA, you can visit their website at www.fairlabor.org. The FLA uses Fruit of the Loom's current active factories for SCI assessment selection. The brand or licensee responsible for a selected factory that is found to have no Fruit of the Loom production will be subject to a monetary fine. In order to maintain transparency, factories that will not be used for production need to begin the deactivation process as soon as possible so they can be removed from FLA's selection process. As soon as the decision is made to end the relationship with a factory, the Fruit of the Loom CSR team should be notified. This can be communicated via email or identified on the monthly factory list. Open communication between the CSR, licensing, and sourcing team is key. Although the intent to exit a factory should be communicated in advance, the actual deactivation process doesn't begin until the final orders have shipped from the factory. Once the Fruit of the Loom CSR team receives confirmation that all orders have shipped, a deactivation visit will be arranged. After the visit has taken place, Fruit of the Loom will send the deactivation certificate to the licensee or factory to be signed and returned. That's it. As stated previously, one part of the deactivation process is the deactivation visit. The deactivation visit should take no longer than 3 hours and ensures that anything associated with the Fruit of the Loom brand has been destroyed or removed from the factory. To arrange this visit, the Supply Chain Sustainability Manager will request the licensee or sourcing team to provide a factory contact. Depending on the location of the factory, the visit will be conducted by either Fruit of the Loom or TMX3, an exclusive third-party compliance partner. A full count of current inventory, as well as a completed Fruit of the Loom deactivation checklist, will need to be completed prior to the visit. Remember when I mentioned reducing brand exposure? By removing the Fruit of the Loom brand from the factory, including any required posters, finished products, or molds and branded tools, risk can be minimized. The licensee or sourcing team can help facilitate this visit by explaining the deactivation process to the factory owner at the beginning of the relationship and again when it ends. Ensuring the factory understands the purpose of the visit will help to complete this process quickly and efficiently. In the event that the factory refuses the visit, it is your responsibility to ensure that all trademark materials are destroyed or removed. This prevents Fruit of the Loom products from being sold or used improperly. You may be thinking, but what if I want to use this factory in the future? No problem. Production can be placed at any previously used factory once the onboarding process has been completed. If the factory's current assessment hasn't expired, you will only need to submit an updated factory profile. However, if the most recent assessment has expired, a new assessment with a ranking of satisfactory or needs improvement will be required in addition to all other onboarding documents. Let's review the main points from today's training. It's important to notify your compliance owner of your intent to exit a factory as soon as possible. The actual deactivation process won't begin until the last orders have shipped from the factory. Communicate with your factory manager about the deactivation visit and encourage their cooperation. And last but certainly not least, risk management depends on communication. Good communication between the factory, the sourcing team, and CSR is key to transparency. I hope you have found this training beneficial. You should now have a better understanding of why it's important to deactivate factories, when to send notification that you are exiting a factory, what happens during the deactivation process, and what to do if you want to use the factory in the future.